This is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to talk about Claressa Shields and her arch nemesis, Savannah Marshall. This was one of the best press conferences I've ever seen because although they were very cordial and although they were very respectable to a degree to each other, it was filled with venom. Listen, if we're going to pay our money, we want to get our money's worth. And for me personally, I don't just want to get my money's worth on the night. I want to get my money's worth throughout the whole promotion. That's what it's about. This is the build-up part of this drama. This literally is just a build-up, you know? So I want to get my money's worth. And this is a great press conference. You have Claressa Shields bucking up and throwing out stats as always because she's the GWOAT. And you have Savannah Marshall, which seemingly on the outside doesn't look like she's doing a whole lot back at Claressa Shields. But that's because she knows Claressa Shields and she knows what gets under her skin. And she knows if you want to get under Claressa Shields' skin, it's to play nice. It's to smile at her. It's to kill her with kindness. Claressa doesn't like that. So let's jump right into it. But really quick, if you like what you're hearing with this channel, please like, please subscribe, please drop comments as you all have been very supportive in doing. And I just want you all to continue. Also, share the videos with you know, like-minded people who like fights, like breakdowns, like want to hear about what's going on in the fight or even the mentality or something that may be going on with a particular fighter. But let's jump back to this. Now, I feel like the nucleus of this fight with these two is the fight that took place 10 years ago in the amateurs. And Claressa let it be known, hey, I was 17. And she let it be known there was also possibly some foul play that was going on in the scoring since it was in the UK. You know, and of course, Marshall's from the UK. So she she basically just put it out there. I believe there was some foul play. I don't believe she won fair and square. Marshall did not contest any of this. But, you know, when asked of Marshall, are you still holding on to this win? You know, she's like, well, no, it's in the past. However, she is, you know, and I think that's number one, I just think it's a smart move for Marshall. Listen, I don't particularly care about it. I mean, it's more than a decade now. I really don't care about it. But since you care so much about it, I'm going to at least entertain the thought that I care about it. Just to tick you off even more. Just to get under your skin even more. And Savannah, with her subtle ways, she did that. With a slight smile, she did that. And, you know, she was like, well, I don't really think about it like that. But she does, and I know, you know, that's on her mind. In which case, when you ask me, do I think it's on Claressa Shields' mind, even though she said no? However, she had the stats. She had like literally, she had her like punch output stat. So I'm like, you know, I'm not saying that thought lingers in the back of your mind, but you're very up to date with everything that happened in that event at that time over 10 years ago. So there could be some truthfulness to the fact that, you know, Savannah Marshall could be kicking up her feet in Claressa Shields' mind. She might be, you know, sipping a margarita or something like that on a patio in Claressa Shields' mind. That's not a far-fetched thought or notion. You know, if you won in the past, yeah, that's going to burn inside of me if you got to win over me. So I can see how it could be there. Like I said, Marshall really just knows how to push Shields' buttons. Everything is subtle. Everything is said with a smile. Everything, you know, but you got to understand, these two are such a contrast of each other. You have Claressa Shields in this raw energy and this just this aggression. And, you know, listen, that's how she grew up. That's the way she grew up. She was literally the only girl in a gym full of boys, and nobody was really taking it easy on her. And I'm pretty sure she didn't want anybody to take it easy on her. So she had to be aggressive. And, you know, the path that she's chosen has led for her to be aggressive. And that's exactly what she is. And it comes out from time to time. Yeah, she's a lady, and yeah, she's this, and yeah, she's that. But she's not a pushover, and she will defend herself at all costs and at all corners. Marshall gets a little bit more praise. But then again, Marshall is a lot more regal than Shields. Shields is more flashy. And these two, I believe I said this before, but I'll say it again. They contrast each other, and not just in fight style, but in individual personality. They're from two completely different countries. Everything about them contrast each other. And, Marshall said before, I don't hate her, but she annoys me. And I can see that. I don't hate her, but she annoys me. Her lifestyle, or how flashy she is, that annoys me. I don't hate her, though. I love what she's done for the sport. But she's a loudmouth. She's arrogant. She's bratty at times. And Claressa Shields can be a little bit bratty. However, Marshall is, I don't know, has like a royalness about her, where her fan base and the UK itself holds her up in such high esteem. She kind of just gloats in it and just floats in that. And I think that's one of the things that annoys Claressa Shields. Like, you're floating in something that you have not earned or you don't really deserve. You don't have all the belts that I have, which was part of the press a huge portion of the press conference was how many belts that Claressa Shields has versus the one belt that Savannah Marshall has. And going back to what I was saying about how, the country and the UK support their own, and shout out to the UK. One thing I have always admired about the UK is that they support their own, and they're never shy to do so. Whether that's flying over to another country and physically supporting them, or just supporting them in the sense of showing up for them at a press conference, and that's what they do for Savannah Marshall. They do hold her very high. And I can tell that annoys Claressa Shields. It doesn't annoy her that she has a fan base. It doesn't annoy her that they take pride in their own. What annoys Claressa Shields is the fact that they're treating Marshall as if she has the accolades of Shields. And that's what annoys her. And I can see how that could annoy her. I can see that. One of the things I am worried about this fight is Shields being a little too aggressive and being a little too emotional. I mean, she is boisterous. She is very loud, and she could be that. But a lot of times that's just to sell a fight. When it comes to Savannah Marshall, this is not Claressa Shields trying to sell a fight. This is Claressa Shields talking about an individual that she does not like. That's what that is. And an individual that she feels possibly, was used to rob her in her amateur days, and which is her only loss. That as well. Not to mention, you look at all the accolades that Claressa Shields has, and then they continually put Savannah Marshall next to her like they're equal when it comes to accomplishments. And as much as I love Savannah Marshall, they're not equal in comparison to accomplishments. I'm sorry. She's got 2 gold medals. You're not equal. She's got a lot of belts over there. You're not equal. But in terms of admiration and fanfare and love and adornment, they're equal. And Savannah Marshall might even be that much more than Claressa Shields. And that annoys Claressa Shields. So we have all the components for this fight to be a great fight. On top of all that, they can actually fight. Like I said, they're very contrast of styles. Now, I did say that, I'm starting to have a worry and a concern that Claressa Shields could be a little too emotional for this fight. She possibly even overtrained because she's so emotional about this fight. But on the flip hand side, it was Savannah Marshall who said that when asked, how are you going to win this fight? She said, my boxing brain. And with all due respect to Savannah Marshall, I don't necessarily think you're the better boxer of the two, per se. I do think she's a great boxer, but is she a better boxer than Claressa Shields? I don't know. I really can't give you that nod. I'm sorry. I just can't give you that nod. And if you're going into this fight thinking I'm going to outbox her as opposed to I'm just going to lay her out, which is what she's known for. She's known for her power. So if you're going in there saying, well, I'm going to outbox you and I'm going to outwork you and I'm going to really utilize this ring and outthink you and make this a chess match and beat you to the punch, I think that could also be not a great ideal for Savannah Marshall. So I could possibly see Claressa Shields overtraining. I could possibly see Claressa Shields being way too emotional. And I could also see Savannah Marshall putting herself in a place where she believes that the two are equal. And in being equal, well, I could best you in a number of ways. I'm going to actually best you in this way, when this way is actually my bread and butter. I think that's not a smart move. Not to mention, listen, if you want to do that with somebody who's a few nogs or pegs below Claressa Shields and yourself, by all means, box her brains out. But if you're going to do that if you're going to try this strategy against somebody with all the accolades and all the attributes and all the skills of Claressa Shields, I think you could be putting yourself in harm's way when you may not have to put yourself in harm's way. So that's what I think about that. Overall, I was really impressed with the press conference. I really liked that there was like no cursing or anything like that. They kept it, they kept it clean. I guess I'll just say it like that. Throughout this whole process, they've remained ladies, and I really appreciate that. I really like that. And I can't wait for the next press conference, I'll be honest with you, because I'm expecting more to come out as this thing grows and turns into its own thing. But please be on the lookout. I will be doing fight breakdowns for Savannah Marshall and Claressa Shields this week. So without further ado, please like, please share, please subscribe to my channel, and drop some comments down below.